All right. So getting back to this poll, only 135 votes, but still, I'm glad to have some data here. I asked you guys which PlayStation show created more hype, E3 2015/2016 or the 2020 PS5 Future of Gaming Showcase, or they're both equal. Now, what's interesting, now to me, this is interesting. This is why I asked you guys to vote on this. 55% of you are saying E3 2016 and 15 generated more hype. That's wild to me. Now, obviously, there's no way to prove this. There's no way to prove this, but that's fascinating that that is winning out by such a high percentage, because how does that make sense? In a world where everybody's convinced that the only reason the hype for the PS5 was as high as it was because of COVID, right? What I mean to say is this. There's a better way for me to articulate this, because that probably didn't make much sense. If it's true, again, there's no way to quantify this. This is the closest thing we could, the best we could do right now. There's no way to quantify this, but if it is actually true that it turns out E3 2015 and E3 2016 from Sony generated a lot more excitement and hype than the PS5 2020 Future of Gaming Showcase, that's fucking nuts, because that proves Sony does not need lockdowns or COVID or any of that shit to generate the type of hype and excitement needed to drive their console sales and their console business. I really want to emphasize that. I really, really, really want to emphasize that if it's true, those previous E3 shows drove more excitement than the PS5 Future of Gaming Showcase, which was in the middle of the lockdowns, then that goes to show we have not seen the upper limit. I firmly believe that, man. I firmly believe it. I'm telling you. I don't know that Sony can do it with the PS5. Maybe they can, though. PS5 console sales are beginning to slow down. To me, that's not surprising. That's not surprising. But my question is, what happens to PS5 sales if, let's just say, hypothetically, I think it's what we're all hoping for, but let's just say hypothetically, Sony puts on a slightly better show than E3 2016. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not expecting that. I feel like that's being way too hopeful. But let's just say they do. Let's say it's just a fucking barrage of not just third party, of course. We know third party's going to be there, but just people are losing their minds, bro, because Sony's like, look, we've been working on this shit for years. Here you go. This is what's coming. This is what's coming for the second half of the generation. What happens to PS5 sales then? Because you know what? Something tells me they don't continue to slow down. Something tells me they start to increase quite substantially. I don't know. That's Chris Brown. You're saying MBG wanted to tell you I'm back on FF16. Good stuff. Yeah, dude. You know what's really interesting is the more I play through Rebirth, for what I played of Rebirth, it definitely got me thinking more about 16. And I don't know, man. I got to see how FF7 Rebirth wraps up, of course, before I can say. But I'm wondering if by the time I'm finished, if I'm I think I might like 16 better. I don't know. I think I may have underappreciated certain aspects of Final Fantasy 16 where I think I may have taken the more mature tone of the game a little bit for granted, because I kind of forgot, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I noticed in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, it seems like they're kind of leaning a little bit more into the, I don't know what you want to call it. I mean, I feel bad calling it cringe stuff, but the more anime type, I guess, stuff. I do like it. It does make me laugh. Dude, there's some parts in Rebirth that are genuinely very funny, but it's kind of it has a very different tone overall where, the goofy side, I guess you could call it. And I like that. But the game does get serious and then it gets a little goofy and then it gets serious. And then it gets deadly serious. And then it gets even goofier. And it's I do like that kind of dynamic of the back and forth. It does create that kind of roller coaster of emotion type feeling. But it also made me realize, damn, it's reminding me of how serious Final Fantasy 16 is kind of the whole time, Where I guess maybe some people didn't like that aspect of it, but I do like both, though. Josh Z, you're saying 2015-16 is definitely it. I'm pretty sure we got God of War and FF7 Remake announcements in both those years. Oh, yeah, dude. So just to recap, dude, between those 2 years, you got FF7 Remake, I think you got The Last Guardian, you got God of War, you got Spider-Man, you got, I think you got Days Gone. I'm pretty sure you got Days Gone. I think Ghost of Tsushima wasn't revealed until 2017, but you got The Last of Us Part 2. Although I think The Last of Us Part 2 reveal was saved for PSX. God, which makes me even more furious that Sony was holding E3s and PSX shows Sony, get it the fuck together, bro. This is bullshit. Man, PlayStation fans were eating so good during that time with showcases, man. I know there's more games I'm forgetting, though. Days Gone was 2016. Ghost of Tsushima was Paris Game Week 2017. Oh, wow. That's crazy. They would save a game reveal like that for Paris Games Week. Yeah, Sony just doesn't do stuff like this anymore, man. And that depresses me. Because I really feel like this is kind of what they're missing, man. I do. Yeah, and there was a PS4 Pro reveal in 2016. MBG, you don't need a showcase. A PS5 price drop would get sales to go up like crazy. Could you imagine if they did both? A great showcase and a price drop? I think Sony is about to be humbled, man. Or maybe they're in the process of being humbled a little bit. If not, maybe, I don't know if humbled's the right word, because that makes it sound like they're arrogant, but just kind of realizing like, oh, okay, we do need to do more. This, you know what I mean? Like, we can't just sit back and rely on third party, and we can't just sit back and rely on the inertia. We do need to do more. I hope they do, man. I'm so fucking eager to learn, because God, look, we had one bright spot in terms of announcements and reveals this year from PlayStation, and that is, the January State of Play. But you guys know that surrounding that was just so much bullshit, man. Like, and there still is so much bullshit. And I'm just ready to move on, where it's like, come on, man. Like, I'm tired of feeling like every year it's like, oh, what's wrong with the games industry this year, guys? What's wrong with PlayStation this year? And I just want to get back to a year where it's like, shit's just fun. Shit's just good. Can shit just be good? That's all. Yeah, I do wish I could be a fly on the wall at Sony. It's like I find out they're watching my streams and they're like, yeah, you see that MBG guy? Do the opposite of what he's saying. Hen Revens, member for 7 months, you're saying the fact Rebirth seems to have done poorly sales-wise goes to show how incredibly cautious people are with their $70 because it's incredible. Yeah, I mean, I'm not counting FF7 Rebirth out just yet, simply for the fact that I do think this is one of those games that can have a very long tail and sell all throughout the generation. But yeah, I have been seeing that people are basically feeling kind of down, that it's not doing as well. It's not doing as well as FF16, seemingly. It's not doing as well as the first game. And I do think it's more than just the $70 price point, to be honest. I do think it is the fact that if you don't have a PS5, it's technically $570. And again, this is during a time where, I mean, to speak to what you're saying about like $70 being pricey, like, yeah, a lot of people are really going to question, like, a lot of people right now, they have to penny pinch, man. Like, they have to be smart with their money, and they have to really think about like the timing of purchases. And I wouldn't be surprised if the economy changes for the better, which I don't know. I don't follow this stuff, so I don't know if it's projected to improve like in 2025 or whatever. But if sometime over the course of this generation, the economy does improve significantly, I imagine that a lot of these games, it'll breathe new life into a lot of these games, At least I hope so. Because yeah, I mean, FF7 Rebirth, it is a very good game for what I played so far. And it would be a shame if the game, I don't want to say if it flopped, but like if it just really underperformed. That would be actually a huge shame, because it's like, damn, dude. It's not perfect. Like, to be clear, I don't think FF7 Rebirth is perfect. Like, there are some aspects of this game from what I played that do kind of feel like, all right, I feel like you're trying to stretch the length of the game a little bit, and I don't mind that, but I do pick up on it. But then again, why are they doing that? Is it because they're afraid people are going to feel like if they shorten it, it's not going to be worth $70? This is where I worry that all this is influencing game devs a little bit. You think it should be 30% smaller? Well, again, I haven't completed it yet, but I do wonder if I'm going to feel that way. Nobinzer with a $5 super chat saying, do you think the Pro will be $600? And do you think that there will be a GTA 6 bundle? If so, that Pro would be $530. Well, I'll tell you this. I do think there will be a GTA 6 bundle. Well, actually, I don't know. I think Sony will fight for a GTA 6 bundle, and I don't think it'll be difficult for them to get it, because I think both Sony and Take-Two Interactive will look at the success of the PS4 GTA 5 bundle. However, I do believe this time around, Sony's not going to cover the cost of the game. I don't think they're going to do that. I think if Sony does strike a deal for a GTA 6 PS5 Pro bundle, because it won't just be a PS5 Pro bundle, it'll be a PS5 bundle. It'll be probably both. Because most people are going to buy the regular PS5. You're going to pay for the game too. Like, it'll probably be like $570. I think gone are the days of getting the free game. You know what I mean? Unless I don't know, unless Sony wants to pay for that, man. But considering they're looking to cut costs, or save, I should say, I don't think that they'd be willing to pay however much it would cost them. I do think, I don't know, actually. I don't know if Sony has the marketing rights to GTA 6. All signs say yes, they do, but it remains to be seen. Like, we haven't seen a PlayStation logo, or like a PlayStation splash screen as well. So we haven't seen a PlayStation splash screen on anything GTA 6 related, because we've only gotten one GTA 6 related thing. We'll know with the next trailer, right? Or when they start talking about it more. I'm assuming they do, though. Because, dude, if you're Sony, if you're Take-Two Interactive, I'll be honest, you're crazy. If you're Take-Two Interactive, you're crazy not to sign a marketing deal with Sony because that's where your game's going to sell the most, like by far and away. And Sony knows this. Sony also knows this game's going to sell a fuck ton of PlayStation consoles. It's a mutually beneficial deal that should absolutely be made. So, you think GTA? I mean, listen, these three things are going to occur in the next 12 to 16 months in the video game industry. Okay? PS5 Pro, well, four things. PS5 Pro reveal, PlayStation Showcase, next Nintendo console reveal and showcase, and GTA 6. These four things are all going to occur in the next 12 to 16 months. And I know that's a long time. Like, oh, dude, 60 months is a while. Or even 18 months, right? Year and a half. But the point is, like, think about those four things, and if they all live up to the expectation that people have, think about what all four of those things can do combined over the next 12, 16, 18 months for the games industry. Just those things alone. This is why I think people are being a bit too dire about the current situation with gaming, where people are making it sound like gaming can't recover. And it's like, no, it definitely can, but we need to see these things. We need these companies to generate the excitement and give us the reasons why we should be excited. But yes, a game like GTA 6 alone, honestly, GTA 6 alone could save the industry, even if it's temporarily, and just completely turn it around. But I just think, it's not like GTA 6 is going to be operating solo. It's not like that's going to be the only thing happening. There's going to be a lot of other things happening. I just want to know, here's what I want to know. Here's my question, okay? Is this the calm before the storm? Or is this just the beginning of a slow descent? I mean, I'm not going to answer that because I don't know the answer. I think it depends on who you ask. If I had to guess, I'm going to be more optimistic and say this is the calm before the storm. That's what I'm going to say because I'm trying to be an optimist. It's been good point, IP Gaming. It's been the calm for 2.5 years, but you know what they say? It's darkest. It's darkest before the dawn, bro. And it's getting pretty dark out here. It is. Like if you look across the gaming industry, it's getting pretty fucking dark out here. Come on, man. We got to do it. Time will tell indeed. So Jack K said that apparently Jeff Grubb is claiming on his Giant Bomb cast, I don't know if it's happening right now or if he claimed this earlier today, that Sony's planning to hold a showcase next month. Jeff Grubb has heard Silent Hill 2 will be at some type of Sony State of Play or showcase for next month. Twitch clip, let me see. Hold on. It's interesting, just as we're talking about it. By the way, is the freezing still happening with the camera? Or has it stopped? What about new IPs from Sony? All right, well, let me play this Twitch clip.
Silent Hill 2 Remake has been officially rated M by the ESRB, which is not surprising given the franchise's consistently graphic nature. The rating suggests that a release window might be imminent. I have heard that there will be a PlayStation something, either a State of Play or a showcase next month in May. So this is probably going to be there.
Oh, fuck.
I'm only thinking Silent Hill 2 Remake.
Why did that guy get angry? The clip just cut off there, but that guy got really angry at the end for some reason. Why? Shit, dude. Well, next month is May. So, Sony, please, God, Sony, please, if you do a showcase in May, please deliver. Please. I cannot suffer through another showcase like last year. I mean, it's like, I'm not necessarily excited, though, because it's like, well, okay. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. They did a showcase in May last year. Maybe that means they're going to do a showcase again. I will say this, though. I will give Jeff, I know, for some reason, a lot of people don't like Jeff Grubb, and I don't know why I don't follow Jeff Grubb like that. So I'm not here to, I'm not judging Jeff Grubb because I just don't know. I don't listen to much of what he does. But what I will say is Jeff Grubb last year, to give credit where it's due, he was literally the only person seemingly on the planet, on the internet, that was saying, like, with credibility as a leaker, saying that there's going to be a February State of Play, either at the very end of February or the beginning of March. He was correct. But more importantly, and this is what really made me kind of believe, okay, he definitely has a contact in Sony. He was the only person last year who said that Sony was having a showcase in May. And I think he didn't give the specific date, but he gave like the week, I believe, of May, where he's like, it's happening this week, like this during this time frame in May. And he was correct. He was the only person. So, you know, again, I'm not trying to give too much credit, but I'm just giving it where it's due, where I see a lot of people be like, Jeff Grubb is a fake and a liar. And it's like, well, no, actually I can't speak to the other things he leaks, but when it comes to the PlayStation shows, he is literally the only person that was correct about anything last year regarding any PlayStation shows. And they were not just guesses. So maybe this is a guess, but he's straight up saying he heard. Now, he does say, to be fair, though, he says a state of play or a showcase thing. So whoever he's hearing this from, he cannot verify if it's a state of play or showcase. I will say, Sony, if you announce a state of play in May, I'm going to have a meltdown. I'm going to have a fucking meltdown. Because it's like, no. It's just no. Sorry. Nope. No. It's got to be a showcase. The end of May. I won't lie, though. That, like, I'm not trying to be a fucking downer here, and I'm sorry if I sound like a downer, but I don't want to see Silent Hill 2 at a showcase. You know, like, I feel like this game should have come out like months ago. I really don't want Silent Hill 2 taking up space at a PlayStation showcase, especially if we're only getting one showcase. Like, I'm not trying to be a downer, but come on, am I the only one who feels that way? I feel like, come on, we should have had a release date for this game by now. You know, Ghost of Tsushima 2 will be there. Oh man, Ghost of Tsushima 2. I'm gonna lose my shit. Yes, Chrome Resolve. We literally just started talking about that. We got Bossman Davey 1980 with another super chat saying Sony needs to tell us what's in the showcase. They owe us that for all the shit ones, lol. Well, here's my problem with Sony and showcases this generation so far. They had the PS5 Summer Showcase, which was the future of gaming. Amazing showcase. And then they had a second showcase in 2020 in September, which was also very good. And they announced God of War. And it was like, hell yeah, dude. We're spoiled. 2 great showcases. And then they had another showcase in September of 2021. So a year later. And it was almost a disaster. But then the last 10 minutes, they were like, boom, God of War gameplay. Boom, Spider-Man 2. Boom, Wolverine. GT7. You guys hype? And it's like, okay, that was good. But then they didn't have a showcase in 2022. And that was shitty, dude. Like, I'll be honest. It really fucking sucked. I remember, like, dude, we were in September and October, and there were still fans that were like, come on, Sony. You got to do a showcase. And then it's like, no, they're not, dude. And then we all know what happened last year, where we finally got that showcase, and we do not speak of it. So, I'll be honest with you, man. Sony has been kind of shit in the bed this generation with showcases. I mean, they started strong, and then they just went off a cliff. And it's like, you got to get back. Like, Sony, you cannot... Sony, if you have a mediocre showcase this year, you're going to lose people. And it's going to be bad. It's going to be, I'm telling you, if Sony drops the ball with their showcase this year, it's going to be bad. It's going to be way worse than last year. Because people now more than ever are like, all right, Sony, show me the goods. I don't think they have to do much. To be honest, I don't think Sony has to do that much to have a better showcase than they did last year. But it has to be better no matter what. IP Gaming says he'll buy an Xbox if they have a bad showcase. See, Sony, this is what's on the line. This is what's on the line.